Sam, aka Sam Ray. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Today I want to talk to you all about how I made Tantanmen Ramen from scratch in only an hour. Yes, I can't believe it either. It only took me an hour. What sparked my inspiration for making ramen was my obsession with Jenya's chicken ramen. So a few months ago, I went to Jenya on 14th Street out in DC to try their ramen for the very first time, and I tried their chicken ramen and I fell madly in love with it. The flavors were just so nostalgic to me. It reminded me of this soup, this wonton soup I used to eat in Jamaica as a child when we went to this Chinese restaurant on Fridays. That was like a little treat for us. So I figured, now that I have all this time on my hands and I love cooking and I'm obsessed with ramen, why not try to make some from scratch? So when I started my research, I saw that the broth takes like 8 hours to cook, and I was just like, I'm not about that life, so maybe ramen is not for me to make from scratch. But then I found Marian's Kitchen's YouTube channel, and she had Tantanmen Ramen that looked like the broth, looked exactly like the broth, or very similar to the broth at Jenya. So I decided to try out her recipe and see if I can get it done in an hour. And I did, and so I'm very proud of it. And we'll just jump right into it. As I go through the video, I'll show you the steps that I took and I'll tell you the ingredients. Also, the list of ingredients are in the description box below, and the directions are also below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications. So to start things off, I started by making the spicy chicken topping. Marian's recipe calls for ground pork, but I use ground chicken because I don't really eat that much pork unless it's bacon. Shout out to all my bacon lovers. So I added some garlic, ginger. Next, I added chili black bean sauce. And after that, I added some liquid aminos. It'll show you the amount in a second. I use liquid aminos instead of soy sauce because liquid aminos have lower sodium content, and I don't like to cook with that much salt. Then after that, I added the rice wine vinegar. So once I finished seasoning the meat, I set that to the side and let it marinate for a bit. So while the meat was marinating, I decided to prep my veggies and dice them up and sit that to the side. And as you can see right here, the meat is simmering in the sauce. So that's also important so that the meat can further absorb the flavor. So after setting the chicken to the side, I decided to make the broth flavoring. As you can see, I added some sesame sauce. It also comes as a paste. You can use peanut butter if you want your broth to be more thick. I then added the chili oil, and then after that I added some rice wine vinegar, and then after that I added some liquid aminos. You can only imagine how salty this thing would be if I used soy sauce. I'm so glad I used liquid aminos. After I added the liquid aminos, I then topped it off with some chopped scallions, just the white part. Now we're gonna make the broth, and it's very simple. You just take some bone broth and add some coconut milk to it. You could use soy milk, but I love the subtle sweetness of coconut milk, so I decided to go that route. And using bone broth is what reduces the cooking time because you don't have to boil the broth for 6 hours from the chicken bones. We're finally at the plating stage. What you don't see here is me, the beginning stages of the plating. So you would add some of the broth flavoring to the bowl first, and then add the boiling hot bone broth and coconut milk mix to the flavoring. Then add your cooked ramen, and then begin to add your toppings. As you can see, I've added bok choy, cabbage, corn. I even have some mushrooms, and then some chopped scallions, the green part this time. And then in the middle, I placed my spicy chicken. And I love the chicken saturating the ramen bowl, so I put a lot of it in there. I will say, I would really encourage you to go out and buy some ramen bowls, or a bowl that's big enough, like deep and wide enough to hold all of these ingredients, because as you can see, my bowl is very crowded and everything's about to spill over, which I don't like that. But if you do get a bigger bowl, your finished product will look just like this. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and comment down below and tell me what your favorite part of the recipe was. Also, let me know what kind of ramen you like. I can also suggest some perfect places in DC. I do like to respond to my comments, so go ahead and comment and we can have a dialogue. I will tell you all the perfect spots for ramen in DC. Also, I said subscribe, like the video. Oh, I tagged Marian's Kitchen in the description box below, so check out her YouTube. She has a lot of bomb Asian recipes, and I tagged the person who made the beat for this video. And also check out my Instagram if you're feeling like it. It's a pretty dope page, I must say so myself. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys.